Hi everyone, I'm Tice, and this is a video brought to you by the Learning Exchange about planning a podcast. When you're planning a podcast, you'll need to consider three things: what your topic will be, what structure or style you'll use to present it, and how you'll record the audio. There are an unlimited number of topics you can choose to make a podcast about. The best place to start is with your personal interests. Once you've chosen a topic, you'll want to do a bit of research about it. This step might be optional if you already know a lot about your topic, but in general, you can never have too much research. Check out books, articles, and talk to people about your topic, and make notes as you go around about things you'd like to use as information or inspiration when you're making your podcast. Next, we'll talk about structure. The best way to prepare to make your own podcast is to think of the ones you've listened to and ask yourself what you liked about them. What keeps you listening? What bores you? Take a few minutes to listen to a few examples. As you listen, think about the different ways that they're structured. Is there a host? Is there an interview style? Or is it a solo narrator telling a story? Now that you've listened to a few examples, start to gather ideas. Make notes of if you want to do an interview or not and who you might want to interview, what kinds of things you want to know more about, and what kind of structure you want to use to present all of your ideas. How would your ideas or narrative unfold over the course of your podcast? Podcasts are a bit like puzzles. Once you decide on the information you want to cover, you have to arrange it into place. But unlike a puzzle, there are many different ways to arrange a podcast, so don't be afraid to experiment. Another thing to decide at this point is what music you want to use and where you would want to put it. You can have it play at certain parts of your podcast for dramatic tension, or you can use it just at the intro and the outro. It's also a good idea to play it at certain points when you've been throwing a lot of information at the audience to give them a moment of rest. So you've figured out how you want your podcast to be structured. Now let's talk about scripting. Whether you're scripting the entire podcast or not, it's a good idea to at least have an outline. Scripts can range from just a collection of rough notes that you reference while you're talking, or a word-for-word script about what you want to say in the podcast. Many podcasts are actually more scripted than you'd think. Now let's talk a bit about recording audio. There are plenty of great options for cheap microphones out there. Today, I'm using the Blue Snowball microphone, which is really easy to use because it plugs into your computer with a USB cable, and it's also pretty inexpensive. I got this one for about $70. Another excellent option is to use your phone's microphone. It's actually surprisingly good quality, and it's also portable, so you can take it with you to do interviews without having a bunch of awkward equipment. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about planning a podcast. I hope this video was helpful, and happy podcasting, everybody. Lastly, I'd like to thank our funders who made this video possible.